after Iowa. So we're going to have, I see some activity outside the studio. I think it's not Santa, darn it. I was also kind of hoping that Governor Sununu would bring Santa Claus with him but then that would be the Governor Sununu hanging out with a Democrat. If you remember PJ O'Rourke's famous essay that Santa Claus is a Democrat and God is a Republican, go look that up. So I don't know that Sununu's hanging out with Santa Claus today. So we're going to see. Drum roll. Oh, it's not Santa. We were wondering who the special guest was going to be.
I am Santa. Because everyone comes to my office and asks me for stuff.
So Governor Sununu is here. Hey, Governor Sununu.
But as a good governor does, I bring friends. I bring fun with me.
You got it. You got to bring the fun with you. Hey,
the next president.
Special guest, Ambassador Nikki Haley. How are you?
Great to be here. Hey, nice to be back in the Granite State.
Hey, it is great to have you. Hey, congratulations on your endorsement by this guy. I don't know. Some dude in New Hampshire with a Ski New Hampshire vest. Governor, I got to tell you, I love so much that you went to this event last night in your Ski New Hampshire jacket. It's so New Hampshire.
I'm not quite fashionable like Governor Haley is, but so I've basically worn this coat for like 7 years, and it's just it's my go-to. I don't know.
It's a go-to. Yeah, you gotta. That's we're New Hampshire.
You got to be about brand, right?
And you were at a ski resort, so it all worked out.
And it was great. McIntyre was a great host. Hundreds of people inside, hundreds of people actually outside in the overflow. It was. I mean, there was energy.
There were lines.
It was a lot of fun. It really was.
It was great.
Yeah, the energy is huge, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, and we did, we sat with the press afterwards. We just did this gaggle. Let them ask anything they want. It was great. Biggest gaggle of press I literally have ever seen. Mm-hmm. It was unbelievable. So the energy's there. Everyone's kind of paying attention, as we said. Folks are going to make up their mind after Thanksgiving, and it's after Thanksgiving. So whether it's me and the voters in New Hampshire, this is where the momentum is. They're all behind Nikki Haley, and it's going to be great.
So, aside from putting the press in a storage closet, which is what I heard, which is, where they belong, you gotta do the right thing there. What I want you to tell the people who weren't listening, who weren't there and didn't watch the video, why did you choose Ambassador Haley?
Look, it's about connection. That's what we want in New Hampshire, right? I've actually probably spent more time with all the governors, all the significant candidates, probably more than anybody else in the country, right? I've gone to all their events many times, and they all have good campaigns. But Nikki has a connection, and it isn't just what I see; it's the feedback I get. Everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, she's the real deal! Holy cow, the real deal as a person." She has a great stump speech, so to say. But then the best part of her town halls is when she's just taking questions. Give you the next question. What is on your mind? What is on your mind? That's exactly what we want here, and that's what Live Free or Die is all about. Yeah. Right? Show us that you're going to put us first as individuals. That you understand limited government. Local control, none of this big government Republican stuff that we've had years of. We got to move past all that. And the fact that she's a governor is great because she knows how to get stuff done. She understands accountability. And so it's not just what she says. Everyone can have a good game on the campaign trail. Hers is fantastic. It's really, I think, how she's been interacting with the citizens. And the momentum's there. The numbers are moving. What we've seen in the debates is the real deal when she's here on the ground. She's spending the time here. So I just think it's an absolute home run.
So, Ambassador Haley, hey, welcome.
Thank you.
So what does this mean to you? You have governor's endorsement.
I mean, it's everything. It's been a good couple of weeks. Last week we were endorsed by the most conservative, freedom-loving grassroots organization in the country with Americans for Prosperity. And then this week to be endorsed by the Live Free or Die governor, the coolest governor in the country, is pretty awesome. And, I think it's what we needed when we needed it. And we have been all over New Hampshire. Y'all have seen us over and over and over again everywhere. But they trust Chris. They trust him. They know him. They respect him. He's won 4 times. They know that he's kept their taxes low and protected their freedoms and economic freedom and Second Amendment freedoms and everything else in between. And that's exactly what we need in our country. We need a live free or die country. And so the idea that we can pull that together, we have a great friendship too. And the idea that we agree on a lot of things, it's a good combination, but I'm excited because we have a country to save and we're determined to do it.
And what live free or die country?
I was just that
is awesome.
Right. So I was just going to say, so what does that mean to you, Ambassador Haley? If you're talking about a live free or die country, we know what it means to us in New Hampshire. If you're going to take this philosophy to Washington, how does that work in practice?
It means to remember that government was intended to secure the rights and freedoms of the people. It was never meant to be all things to all people. Let people free. We want economic freedom. We want individual liberties. We want to make sure we get government out of the way of our small businesses, out of the way we live our life, out of the way of or this socialism creep that's happening. Just let people live. That's what they want to do. And you've got this government that's gotten so big and put us so much in debt and is telling us how to live and what to do and what to say. That's not who we are. That's not how America functions. And so just righting that ship to where we say, you know what? We trust the American people to live the way they want to live. And government needs to sit back and just protect the national security of this country, and that's it.
And I'm glad you mentioned the national security. We have this deal that's coming up in this week, trying to get this deal done with Ukraine. If you're president right now instead of Biden, what do you say to Republicans or to the other side, the Democrats who are like, we don't want to deal with the border? What is your message on getting the deal done in the next couple of days? You
know what? I pull them in my office and say, we're not leaving until you figure this out. They're talking about the Senate leaving for the holidays. They don't get to leave. First of all, closing our border is priority number one. It is national security. America, right now they're acting like it's September 10th, and we better remember what September 12th felt like, because it only takes one person. And Ukraine, you have to understand, if you leave Ukraine, Russia wins. If Russia wins, China wins. That's the reality. Russia has said that once they take Ukraine, Poland and the Baltics are next. That puts us at war. We're trying to prevent war. So, first of all, the Democrats are completely wrong to say we're not going to deal with the border. It is unthinkable we've allowed 8 million people. It's unthinkable we've had more fentanyl cross the border than the Iraq, Afghanistan, and Vietnam wars combined. So let's close the border, and let's be a good friend to our allies, Ukraine and Israel, and let's get everything back on track. But Congress continues to be dysfunctional, and, we wouldn't let them leave. And if they don't get this done, they shouldn't get paid.
I do think if Democrats say and Biden say, look, this is so important, Ukraine is just colossally important for U.S. national interest, you would think they would say, yeah, it's important enough to come up with some deal on the border, rather than just say, we're not going to deal with that.
And why is the border not the most important priority? I mean, honestly, you have so many people coming in unvetted that we don't know who they are, where they come from. We know over 1,000 people have come from Yemen and Lebanon and Iran, not to count Afghanistan. I mean, it's truly a dereliction of duty. But at what point do Biden and the Democrats think it's winning to not close our border?
Right. And so when you're talking to folks around New Hampshire, I have some libertarian-leaning friends in New Hampshire. There's a lot of them around. And I wonder what you say to them when they hear stuff about Ukraine and they get concerned and they say, look, I'm concerned about Nikki Haley because I don't want more foreign wars. And they sort of see you in this old kind of Republican vein. What do you say to those libertarian folks?
I don't want foreign wars either.
Yeah.
I'm the wife of a combat veteran. He's deployed now. The last thing I want to see him do is go fight in a war. This is about prevention. It's always about prevention. On September 12th, we needed a lot of friends. You have to be a friend to get a friend.
Thank you so much, Nikki Haley, Governor Sununu. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but appreciate you joining us.
Go
Thanks
to
a lot.
NikkiHaley.com and join us.
All right, great.